Doing part 2 of my makeup brushes, where I break all those 167 brushes, sharing with you the brushes that I actually use to do my face as we do a get ready with me. So welcome. I've already done my skincare. One of my favorite primers around my nose area, around the T-zone, with my e.l.f. Poreless Putty Primer. It's one of my faves. Get ready with me. The brushes that I use to do my face, which is not very many. I'll show you what I'm going to use. This is one of my concealer brushes. It's not the main one. It's the N14 by Nikki. And I'm just going to give that just a pat, a stipple. Okay, I think we've got that. Just a touch on there anyway. Now today's foundation, going to be using good old L'Oreal 24-Hour Fresh Wear, one of my faves, drugstore. Okay, we're not really concentrating on the product today. We're going to be concentrating on the brushes that I use to do my face. Out of all those brushes, that's what I'm concentrating on today. Sharing with you is the brushes. But I'm going to use my little palette and I'm going to squirt out some of the foundation, and I use number 411 in L'Oreal. I have a ton of makeup brushes, as you saw, but one of my favorites, the IT Cosmetics number 7. I love this brush. It's double-ended for your foundation. You can use the smaller end to get around the nose area, you know, to fill in the wherever you want to use the small end. But anyway, I love this brush. It's a $50 brush, but I always have a couple of backups, as you well know. So let's put this on and let's get going with the foundation. Right into my eyeshadow primer, and I'll be using my MAC paint pot. Number 314, and it's by IT Cosmetics. It's a concealer brush, but Lee uses it to put on my eyeshadow base because I haven't found a brush that works any better for me than this brush, so that's what I do. So I'm going to let you listen to some music, and I'm going to apply this. This brush is a synthetic brush, number 314 by IT Cosmetics. And when I found this brush, as I said, it's a concealer brush. And it would work fine for a concealer. But I just latched onto it many, many years ago. And it just works great for to apply my MAC paint pot eyeshadow base. So this brush I absolutely love for that. That is a brush that I use every time I put on this MAC paint pot. I use this brush. Okay, the eyes. And today I haven't used this palette in a long time, so I'm hoping that it's going to work out. It is the Casual Collection by Laura Geller. I love her products, and I have tons of her little eyeshadow palette. So this happens to be the Casual Collection. You see the colors? Just wanted to wear some warm colors today. Favorite a few of my favorite brushes. Now, I have a lot of eye brushes. I want to say this right off. This is going to be a lengthy video. I have a lot of eye brushes in my eye brush holder, but there's a few that I grab all the time. So what I done when I went through my brushes, 167 of them, you saw them. I showed you every brush I owned. I don't care how old it was, how scroungy it was, how beat up it was. I shared it with you, as I said I would. These few brushes I still left in extra just in case. I use them occasionally. Okay, but these are brushes that I use I grab for every time I put my face on. I'm going to take this very old Merrill Norman brush, and this is an eye shader. Doesn't have a number on it. It's a sable brush. It's flat here. When I mean flat, it's mesh, but it's a very full brush. I'm going to apply a little bit of highlight color along the brow bone to start. Light color right here, the lightest shade, to just apply a little color up there with this brush. Love rougher brushes. I'm going to use number 1. I think I will go into, let's see, this shade, this contour shade. I'm going to go into this shade right here. It's in rougher number 01 is the brush I'm using. Be a terracotta shade, and with these crepey eyes, it is difficult to move mud. It is. It's difficult to get what I want to get with these crepey eyes. I used to have these smooth skin. If you have that smooth skin, you can just zip, 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 you're done. I don't have that anymore. Many of us do. I'm going to put a little bit of color there, starting over here with this one. This number 1 brush. These are rougher brushes, are from Japan, and they're natural goat hair brushes. They're wonderful brushes. The latest rougher brushes that I have purchased is the Shodo. It's the 3-piece collection on their website. They're awesome brushes as well. They're 3 little skinny brushes, and they're great. They do certain little things, and you know, when you do your makeup, you know what brush works and what doesn't. You want something that you can count on. It's a workhorse that's going to get the job done for you. The rougher number 15. That's one of my favorite blender brushes. Another rougher brush, number 2. It's a flat brush. And I'm going to add a little bit of color up over my lid. The smaller the brush, the more detail for brushes, the Shodo brushes. And I'm going to put a little bit of that darker in the corner, and I'm going to use this brown right here. I have hooded eyes, so if I don't put it high enough when I close my eye, you can't see it. Now I'm going to take my number 15 again, and I'm going to blend. I'm going to come back to the eyes in just a moment. At this point, what I'm going to do is put a coat of mascara. And today I'll be using my, I think it's an Estee Lauder. Some of these things I'm trying to use up. So I'm going to stick some Estee Lauder on there and then use my e.l.f. on the bottom. I use 2 mascaras. I want this to dry down because I'm going to pop on my little half lashes. Okay, I think we just about have that. I put on this little Estee Lauder that I'm trying to use up on the top. Now I'm going to apply a coat of the e.l.f. on the bottom, and no matter what mascara I use, my friends, as you heard me say, I always apply this on the bottom. Sometimes I do on the top because I love this mascara. And then I'm going to hop off and I'm going to hop right off and apply my little half lash. As I said before, the reason that I applied the mascara on the top, because before I do the lashes, it gives you a base, because as you can see, at 78, I have no lashes. I have no lashes. That's why I wear the little half lashes. So I apply a good, generous coat, as much as I can, of mascara before I apply the lashes. Okay, it's just what I do. I put my lashes on, okay? Okay, friends, I'm back and I have my little half lashes on. And I went ahead, like I said, and I put that lash extender mascara on the bottom. Tightline my eyes, and I'll be using the Flower Beauty pencil in Emerald. Since I have on green today, that's what I'm going to use. This is a fantastic, you can get this on Amazon. Love these pencils, have them in just about every color. So it's hard for me to let you see me do this because I have to get my head in this mirror. You know that. So let's tightline these eyes. And as you well know, as soon as I get finished filming, I wash all this off per my doctor's order. That makes such a difference when you tightline, but I don't leave it on very long. Okay, I'm going to take a little bit of shadow, a darker shadow, and I'm going to put a little bit on the bottom underneath there. And the brushes that I use for that, again, is 2 of the rougher brushes. I have brush number 3 and I have brush number 29. 29 is a brush that I use a lot. It's a little tiny. I believe, unless they have updated their brush, this is the smallest brush that rephr makes flat. I'm going to be using that, and I use the number 3, which is a little pointy pencil brush. I apply and then I blend, and I'm going to be using just this dark brown here. Tap it in there and feed a little bit in there. And I'm going to just smudge that a bit. I always have you ask me what mirror I use. My mirror will be listed in the description box, and I have a complete video sharing it and showing you all about it. So if you want to check that out, feel free. Oh, these lines are getting worse. Oh, what are we going to do about these lines? There's nothing we can do about these lines, right? This little spot on my eyes before I do my concealer. In the corner, I'm going to take a small little bullet brush that I use, one of my favorites. I have two bullet brushes. I have one by Profusion, and it is ES4, I believe, and then I have MAC S219. And I have, these are my two little bullet brushes that I use. And I have others, but these are two of my favorites. The Profusion and the MAC S219. And today I think I will just use the Profusion. A little bullet brush with a blunt end. And what I'm going to do is to open the eye up, I'm going to put just a little dot of light color in the concealer, in the corner, to open the eye up. Okay, let me put a little bit of powder on. And I'll be using Laura Mercier, one of my all-time favorites, translucent. And use my powder brush, and I'm going to be using BK Beauty 102. That's the big fluffy powder brush. I have several powder brushes, and I'll share those with you as I go. But when I do my concealer, this is one of my new brushes, the N19. I believe it's the N19 but it'll all be listed. It's in her second set. It's to use for powder under here, and I think after I do my concealer, I'm going to use that to set my powder, so under my eyes. But right now, we're going to just fluff on a little bit of translucent powder, avoiding the eye area. Let's put on a little bit of contour, and I'm going to be using my Nikki LaRose New from her second set. I think it's the N18. It's this real wide, can you see that? I've used this a few times, and I really like this brush. It's from Nikki LaRose's second set. And for bronzer, I'm going to be using Catrice Butter-Like Bronzer. It has the bronzer and the contour, and this is the shade. The darker gray brown is the contour. So let's do a little bit of contour before I do the bronzer. Just tap it right in there. Hollow out those cheeks, put a little bit under here, and these jowls. Love this brush. It washes up like a dream. Checked out her new brushes. The first set, I have the two sets of the first one, as you saw, and then I have the second set. A bronzer, and my bronzer brush is 103 that I use. I do have several. I have 103 by BK Beauty, and I have Sigma F29. They will be listed in the description box. Those are two of my bronzer brushes that I use most often, okay? But today I'm going to be using BK Beauty 103. Same palette by Catrice. I'm going to bronzer color. Warm up this face a little bit. Okay, my lips before I do the blush. I'll be using lipstick in L'Oreal. It's one of my all-time favorite coral colors, Tropical Coral 444. Gloss, Milani Luminoso. And the pencil I'll be using is by Revlon, and it's Sienna. So let's line these lips and finish this. Get ready with me.
Some might say that I'm a loner, but I just call it being free. I am.
At my age, I'm losing my Cupid's bow. I think this Revlon to me it's not a dupe. I don't like to use that word, but you know, it's not really a dupe, but it reminds me of a MAC liner in Spice. A lot like Spice. Let's apply this good old 444 L'Oreal Tropical Coral, one of my favorite coral colors. Beautiful shade. I love this. I wear this lipstick a lot. Now to go over that, I'm going to use a Luminoso as a little bit of gloss. Again, we're concentrating on brushes that I use, that I grab every time I do my makeup, most of the time. So that's what we're concentrating basically on today, is the brushes. Doing a get ready with me, showing you how I use them, not so much the product. Okay, let's get some blush on. Using a Catrice product, it would be Cloud Pink. It looks coral. It looks more coral. I have the coral, and I have the pink, and I have more of a burgundy hue, but I have all three colors, and I love them. The formula, I have three favorites in my blush drawer. Two of them are rougher. I have the number 5 brush. Now that's a great brush. You can see that. That's a great brush, how it's shaped for powder. I use this one where I use powder blush. I use the number 4 when I use a cream blush. Do you see how it's shaped? It's got an angle. When I use a cream blush, I use that one. And I also love my Sigma brush. This is the 53 Airbrush. It's a contour or blush brush. It's by Sigma. It has that same shape. But as I showed you in the brush video, do you see how the bristles, it's called Air. You see how the bristles, some of them are black and then it's white. But you see when you look at that brush, you can see down in it, some of the bristles are cut short. Some are left long. It's kind of like the analogy when you go get your hair, if your hair's too thick and your hairdresser has to go in there and texturize the hair to make it not so heavy and bulky. Well, that's kind of like this brush. This is a fabulous brush. If I just want a gentle, soft touch, very airy, very light. I also can use this for contour. I can use it for highlight if I want to in certain areas, but I do use this brush a lot. But I wanted to show you my 3 favorites. So this is actually, it's like a cream, it's like a powder, this blush. I love the formula. But today I'll be using my number 5 by Rephr. And I just tap it. And lay it on the side almost. Love this formula. Love this blush. Like I said, I own 3 colors. Love every single one of them. Okay, I think that's going to do it for the blush. Get some concealer on. Going back to my Laura Mercier concealer, let's put some concealer on, and I will share with you my favorite concealer brush. I have 3 concealer brushes. I want to share all 3 of them with you and tell you which one I'll be using today. This particular brush is one that I have, when I first started my channel, I've had this brush, I know, 35, 40 years. I don't know where it came from. It doesn't have a name on it. I have no idea what brand it is. But I still have it in my stash, and I'm not going to list it because there's no number, there's no brand, there's no nothing, so I can't list it. You couldn't get it. It's old. It's got a taper, kind of like Angie Hot and Flashy, but not as much. So I'm going to keep this brush forever. It's almost as old as I am. And then I have my Angie Hot and Flashy A506. And then I also have one by the N23 by Nikki LaRose. It's a little spot concealer. If you have a blemish or something you want to take care of, I use this for that. Or a little, something you want to cover up. But today I'll be using my Angie Hot and Flashy with the little kitten paw is referred to. So that's what I'm going to be using to blend this concealer. Let's get this concealer blended before it dries. I hope it's not too dark, the shade that I picked. The shade that I chose that I've had for a long time, and a lot of this stuff is getting on the old side. It's more of a yellow. It's got more of a yellow tint to it. I don't like a white concealer, but I want just that right shade, and sometimes it's difficult to find in certain brands. And that out, it's just like a little soft kitten paw going around your eye. And just pull it up. I've got a highlighter. And I've got my Hourglass Ambient Light. And you see me use this all the time, and I use the Ambient Light number 1, and I have a big brush that I use for this. This also happens to be an IT Cosmetics brush. I've had it forever. It's actually like a big Kabuka foundation brush, but I use it for my Ambient Light powder, and you'll see how I use it. I just swipe it right across. There's 3 colors in there, and I just swipe it right across all 3 colors, and it just mixes like a dream. I want to share one brush with you before I do a little highlight. This is a little brush that I want to share with you that I use a lot, especially before I had my brows done. And this is by Anastasia, and it's number 18. It's a little flat, stiff brush. This brush I use if you want to clean up around the brows. I have my brows microbladed, last year, so I don't have to do much of that. Every now and then I might want to put a pencil here and there, to fill in if they start to fade or something. But if you want to put a concealer and clean up around your brows, this brush is fantastic to do that. As a matter of fact, they recommend that. Anastasia does for the brows, specifically the number 18 for the brows. Or if you want to clean up around the lip area, you get a lipstick out of line, your liner gets out of line there, you can use this to take a little concealer and clean up around your lips. Or anywhere you want to do a cleanup with this brush. It's great. So I wanted to share that is one of my brushes. When I need it, I use it. And another one I wanted to share with you is by IT Cosmetics number 12. This is a brush I've had forever. It's got a hump in the center there. This is also for the brows. It's got the brow brush, and it's got the on the other end for the product if you need that. So that is a brush. If I need it, it's there so I can use it. Now the powder, I'm going to set the powder underneath my eyes since we did the concealer. And I'm going to be using the Nikki LaRose. I believe this is the N19. Yes, it is the N19. This was in her second set. You're seeing this viral everywhere. You see how it's got that point coming up? You can use this for powder to set underneath the eyes. You see how that point will get up in that cavity there of the eye to set that. So I'm going to apply the powder today and use this brush. I don't use it all the time. It is new to me. I do like a puff, but today I'm going to use a little bit of this to set it. Use this brush. Get up in there. Gently pat to set that concealer. But a lot of times I still like to use a puff. I get these little wedges on Amazon. They come in like you can get a 6-pack, a 12-pack, however much you want. They're little wedges, you know, I get the black. Now sometimes I like to use the puff because I'm a puff girl, you know. So it really gets in up there and there too and sets everything. Do our highlighter, and I'll be using my IT Cosmetics Hello Light Cream Illuminator. I love this little highlighter. It's a kind of it's a cream. So today I'm going to share with you my 3 highlight brushes. I have a lot, but I picked 3 to share with you. This is one that I use an awful lot. This is Morphe 501. I love this little Morphe brush. I use this a lot. And I also use the 2 that are in Nikki's, the new ones that I have, the N20 and the NS20. They're the 2 that for highlight, you can use them for highlight, you can use them for blush, you can use them around the eye, you can use, they're 2 different sizes. And when I got Nikki's second set, I love these brushes, but until I did, the Morphe is the one that I used all the time for highlight, okay? So today, I think I will use the N20, the larger one, to put some highlight here. And I'm just going to, again, these brushes, both of them have that texturizing effect like I showed you in that, I think it was Sigma. Some bristles are cut short, some are long, and it gives that texturized effect, kind of that, you know, like the hair analogy that I showed you. So I'm just going to barely touch this and put a little highlight. Very light hand. I have a mirror here and a mirror here, so just a little bit. Maybe a little bit right here on my nose. And definitely right here. Matter of fact, I may want to grab my smaller one to put some right there. And we're going to finish everything off with the D'Alba. It's the white truffle spray from Italy. I love this product. You can use this product before you start your foundation, before you start to do your face, and definitely after, because it takes all the powders, everything, and just kind of blends them together. This is a great spray. You can see how it, my voice, it's the weather, I apologize. You can see how the oil, the white truffle oil is separated. So you want to give this a super good shake. This is my second, yes, this is my second bottle of it. I'll get it out in a minute. Immediately, you don't want to let it sit. Just give yourself a good spray. Oh, it smells so good. It feels so good. And it just takes all of that and it just gives you a glow. Okay. Just gives you that wonderful, I think I even got it in my hair, that wonderful glow, and it just puts everything together. So I'm going to cut my camera off just a moment, go do something with my hair, put on my jewelry, and I'll be right back. This is my finished look, sharing with you a get ready with me using my most used makeup brushes that I reach for day after day as I do this face. I hope you watched the entire video, and if you made it this far, thank you so much. But it's hard to take brushes, say for the eyes, and narrow it down to 3 or 4 brushes. I still probably have maybe 12 brushes that I kept. And a lot of them I just donated. A lot of them I gave to my granddaughters. Use brushes. You know, I just don't need all these brushes that I don't use. They're just in my way. I just wanted things on my makeup table that I reach for over and over. But I did keep about maybe 12 makeup brushes, maybe 14. I have several more brushes here, especially I have more eye brushes than I do face brushes, of course. We all do, because we never know what we're going to and I didn't begin to use every brush that I kept, but I did keep about 12, maybe 15 eye brushes, and the rest of them I just got rid of them. As far as blush brush, I maybe kept 2 or 3, one for cream, one for powder. And the same way with all of my other brushes, you know, I try to keep at least 3 or 4. But I had an entire bin, and I had to dig through to find what I needed. It was like in your closet. You know, I'd rather have all my clothes organized where I don't have to dig through to get what I want to coordinate with that outfit. I like everything organized, and my makeup table had just gotten to the point to where it was a disaster. I needed to clean out, I needed to purge a lot of things. Those are the brushes that I use every time, most of the time. Now, if I'm doing it depends on the look that I'm going for. If I'm doing a heavier foundation, I'm going to use a different foundation brush. Okay, I showed you one, and matter of fact, I like the Nikki Rose, the double-ended, one for powder, one for foundation. There's another one in BK Beauty, the 106, you know. So, and there's some in Sigma that I use. So, yeah, I just showed you the one that I reach for the most. Okay, so I hope you can appreciate that. This is the finished look, and this is how everything come together. I thank you so much for watching today, and I want to leave you with my favorite words. Go out and make today better than yesterday, but always remember that I love you. And I'll have a video for you next week, my friends, and never ever underestimate how much I appreciate you supporting my channel, you being here. And one thing that I ask of you is that you watch my entire video, because YouTube is getting more strict with our hours, our watch time. There's some new rules going on. If you have a channel, you know what I'm talking about. So I just ask that if you enjoy my content, watch the entire video, and please hit that like button. That really, really helps me out. And would you please hit the little hype button? I know so many of you watch YouTube on television, but if you would just do me a favor, if you enjoy my content, would you please do me a favor? Go to your phone after you watch the video, and please hit the like button, the thumbs up. Please hit the hype button, HYPE. That really, really helps me out. It really does. So if you enjoy me and you want me to stay on, please do those things for me, because I may be cutting back. I may be, I don't know, but YouTube rules have changed. Cost anything. It's free. It just helps me out. I put a lot of time and money into this. So if you enjoy me, do those 3 things. Friends, I'll see you next Thursday. Bye-bye.